Coming up on Mountain News this morning, an Eastern Kentucky church partners up with America's largest retail chain to help flood survivors in our region recover. And a local college begins to collect coats so those who are affected by floodwaters in late July don't stay cold as the temperatures drop.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Well, good morning to you. It is almost 6 o'clock here. I'm Dakota Makris. Good morning. And well, it's Friday for some of us, but some of us also have to work tomorrow, like me. So you'll see me again tomorrow. So let's head over to meteorologist Cameron Aaron. Hey, Cameron.
Good
Wait,
morning.
you don't have to work tomorrow, right?
No, I'm off tomorrow.
You're off? Lucky.
I am off tomorrow. Yeah. First weekend off in a while.
Yeah, we'll certainly miss you.
I hope so. But yeah, this morning, Dakota, it is chilly. We've been talking about that for the past hour, but it's kind of slow in the weather department this morning, but it's also kind of busy as well. It's kind of a weird thing we got going on. We'll talk about that. Here's a live look over at Buffalo Mountain this morning. It's clear, but we're looking at dry air, and we're also looking at a breezy wind today, and that can kind of increase our fire weather risk. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Lower 40s at Buffalo Mountain, 39 this morning for London, 35 over in Manchester. Many people waking up in the 30s, sitting at freezing right now at Jonesville at 32 degrees. Up on satellite and radar, a clean sweep. We are looking at clear skies and dry weather. But notice this, a fire weather warning for much of central and western Kentucky. This does not include any of our counties, but still, we're going to see dry weather and a breezy southwest wind. So we could see an increase in our fire weather danger. So just keep that in mind if you are planning on doing that. Make sure to listen to your local authorities on that. But if you do have any plans today, the weather is looking fantastic. We are dry and sunny, middle to upper 60s this afternoon. And we're also watching out for some rain chances this weekend and a cool down next week. We'll talk about it in just a little bit, Dakota.
All right, Cameron, thank you. Well, we begin the 6 o'clock hour with some very sad news. The official death toll from the historic flooding that hit our region in late July went up by 2 people. Governor Andy Beshear announced Thursday it is now up to 43 deaths. The 2 newest deaths were people who were suffering health conditions arising from floods. One lived in Breathitt County, the other in Letcher County. One woman, 60-year-old Vanessa Baker from Breathitt County, well, she's still missing. Yesterday, the governor also said FEMA approved more than $76 million in grants for more than 8,000 households. More than $53 million has been approved under the U.S. Small Business Administration. 276 people are still staying at state parks. 532 people are being housed in 200 travel trailers. The Team Eastern Kentucky Flood Relief Fund has raised more than $10 million. Businesses in Letcher County are still recovering from the flood. Our Chandler Wilcox tells us how one businessman has spent every day trying to fix his property in Whitesburg.
While the leaves are changing, the daily routine for a lot of Eastern Kentuckians has stayed the same, cleaning up flood damage.
Every day, yeah, I've done this ever since the flood happened.
Colin owns the Kentucky Mist Distillery in Whitesburg, a hub for distilleries across the southeast. 5 feet of floodwater damaged the building, so Colin and his employees spent 2 weeks cleaning it up.
When it first happened, we jumped on the distillery, and in about 2 weeks, we had it back open. And then as soon as we finished there, we moved up here and started on these buildings.
6 businesses all shared this rental property owned by Colin Foltz. Each facility had to be remodeled after sustaining flood damage.
We had to take and replace sheetrock, everything.
Starting one by one, some renters are staying, but some are leaving.
Some are waiting for us to get their spaces fixed back. Others have moved out, and then we have people, new customers, that's waiting to move into the building.
Without flood insurance, Foltz cannot get an SBA loan, so he's finding other ways to pay for the remodeling.
If we want to take a gamble, then we just pay for it ourselves and hopefully save money.
Building back carefully. In Whitesburg, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Well, he says the Kentucky Mist Distillery should be caught up with demand in the next few weeks. Mountain Life Church in Jenkins and Walmart are partnering up again to help flood survivors recover. On October 22nd, the church and Walmart associates will set up in Whitesburg to give out groceries to anyone who has filed for relief assistance from FEMA. Mountain Life Pastor Brian Hogg says survivors will get all kinds of food.
It'll be full of non-perishable groceries They're giving a $25 gift card so they can go to Walmart and buy meat.
The donation setup will be at Pine Mountain Grill. Well, 2 women from Breathitt County are receiving brand new homes this week from a company called Hunter Homes and Shelters from New York. The founder of the company created and patented a lightweight, strong, energy-efficient emergency shelter home that can be constructed in one day with 4 to 6 workers.
We're proud of the product. It's because of the structurally insulated panels with polyurethane foam. They're unbelievably energy efficient. You can heat and cool this thing for about $40 a month in electric. It's really amazing.
Well, the 2 women are expected to get moved in very soon. The home should be finished by this weekend. And Hazard Community and Technical College students started a coat drive this week for those impacted by flooding. Multiple student organizations are helping out with the drive. Students we talked with on Thursday said they began planning the coat drive in late September. Donations are accepted at the Hazard, Lee's College, Technical, and the Leslie County Center campuses.
We just wanted to relieve some of the hardships that they faced because they've lost all their clothing items and their homes. And we're going into the colder months, so we're hoping that these coats will help replenish their winter wardrobe.
Well, they are collecting coats until October 28th, then they will distribute them on November 4th. A Kentucky mother has a warning for fellow parents. It's about the dangers of babies co-sleeping with a parent or caregiver. Pediatricians do not recommend it, but some still do it. CDC statistics show accidental suffocation or strangulation while sleeping made up more than a quarter of all sudden unexpected infant deaths in 2020. Now, Garrett Weimer introduces us to a grieving family in Woodford County trying to use their pain to prevent other tragedies.
In an instant, it's often said, life can change forever.
It's very hard on all of us.
For Kayla Sorrell and Ross Bird, on May 13th, 2021,
it's a tragedy no one wants to go through.
It changed in 3. 8 a.m. when Bird dropped off young Raven at the babysitter's. 10:24 when Sorrell got the phone call she wasn't breathing. 11:05 when their precious daughter was pronounced dead.
She was my shining light, you know. She was the light in my darkness, you know. She really had almost an angelic presence to me.
As a mother to 2 boys, Sorrell says she was happy but scared when she found out she was pregnant with a girl.
I was like, oh God, Barbie dolls and hair. But I was excited to do it, and I knew she would have her brothers to protect her and beat up any little boys that needed to if she needed them in the long run.
And by all accounts, Raven was a happy baby.
Yeah.
Loved baths, loved to smile.
Dance.
They only got to spend 9 months with her. Raven died from positional asphyxia when Sorrell says the babysitter trying to get her to nap accidentally fell asleep herself in a recliner while holding her.
It's just such a tragedy when we lose a child, whether it's a total accident or some sort of preventable accident.
Lexington pediatrician Dr. Katrina Hood says co-sleeping in any way is not recommended. Advocates highlight the ABCs of safe sleep. A baby should sleep alone, on their back, and in a crib. Dr. Hood says it's important to be intentional about it because tragedy only takes a few moments.
When you get ready to have a baby and you have a baby in your home, I think you just make the declaration that we don't want caregivers, we don't want dads, we don't want moms, we don't want any other individuals sitting on a couch and saying, I'm just going to doze off for a minute, and they're comfortable, because on a couch or any place in a bed, things can happen.
At their home in Woodford County,
it's just like a dark cloud over you.
Raven's loved ones,
There's been months we didn't get out of the bed.
still working through the grief.
Kayla's sister made this photo album.
And holding on.
It's her baby book.
To all that's left.
That's my favorite one, the one in the corner right there.
She just got so big and chunky.
Quick, too.
Yeah. I'll get jealous of some of my friends and their kids that are around the same age because I didn't get to see my daughter grow up to be that age.
Now this family is forced to relive old memories instead of creating new ones.
But that was the day. That picture was taken on the day.
Although she's passed, I can still keep her alive by telling her story and bringing awareness to the dangers of co-sleeping. Because if they see her smiling face and know that is what cost her her life, and no matter the situation, it was a complete accident, it still cost a life.
For them, the hardest part is moving on without her.
Same facial structure, everything.
Knowing that Raven will forever be their angel infant.
I'm glad we took a lot of pictures, but like I said, it's only 9 months worth.
Even as time ticks ever on. In Versailles, Garrett Weimer, WYMT Mountain News.
Saturday is World Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day at 7 o'clock that evening. Advocates will ask everyone to light a candle for all the babies gone too soon. They say to keep the candle lit for at least an hour to help keep a continuous wave of light across all time zones all around the world.
Well, it is chilly across the mountains as we start our Friday, but a nice warm-up is on the way by this afternoon. Here is a look at those temperatures right now. Some of us waking up in the 30s, 35 in Manchester, 32 sitting at freezing over in Jonesville, 37 for Harlan, 47 in Jackson, and 41 over in Somerset. We are dry on radar this morning under a clear sky, and this is new. Some of the region is now in a moderate drought, especially our western counties, so we could actually use a little bit of rainfall west of Highway 15, and we're tracking some rain chances by this weekend. We'll talk all about it coming up in just a little bit. Dakota?
All right, Cameron, thank you so much. It's almost 6:11 when we come back here on Mountain News this morning. Some changes are made in the voting rules for the Florida counties impacted by Hurricane Ian to make it easier for people to cast their ballots.